Hey, I haven't been out here in a while. Um, I was going to talk about tonight as far as Christian narcissists and how when they congregate at the churches, they seek out um, the weak saints, or they seek out the carnal saints, or they seek out the ones that have a high level of respect for them, regardless of what it is. They admire that they know the word, but they also admire any and all wrong that they do in the church. They see exactly what they're doing. So instead of them making the Christian narcissist uh, responsible or become like their accountability partner, they actually begin to start acting like them. So what do I mean? If the Christian narcissist is being unfaithful in a relationship or in a marriage, their followers or these weak and carnal men and women of God tend to take on the narcissist characteristics. And so for some reason they start acting or operating like the Christian narcissist. So they will begin to be unfaithful with their mates or their partners, and they're all, now it's all considered the good old boys club or the good old girls club, because now the spirits that are operating in the Christian narcissist have been transferred over to um, um, I'll say they're the community that the Christian narcissists have built, um, uh, uh, including the weak brothers and sisters in their inner circle. So now they have a little, the narcissist has a community right within the church, but it consists of the weak and the carnal. It consists of the ones that have the attitude of, I see an elephant, but I'm in it and I'm not in it. So I'm not going to make that brother or sister accountable, because they know the word really good and they know how to sing really good and they know how to exalt really good. And so I'm just going to jump on board and I'm going to be a part of that good old boys or girls club, because I really like them, because I know they're saved because they can exalt well, they can preach well, they can teach well, they know the word good, but they also see that they're not living anything. But it's something about the spirits in the Christian narcissist that actually, it's like a magnet, and it attracts the weak ones. It attracts the carnal ones. It attracts the ones that narcissist know that they can manipulate and control, even in the relationships, or use while they're in relationship with these people. What do I mean by that? If they get in trouble financially, or something comes up financially, and they need someone to help to get them out of maybe a financial situation they've gotten themselves in, you better believe they're going to go to their little community or a kingdom that they've set up within the church of the weak and the carnal, and go and ask them to help to get them out of whatever they need. You better bank that these people in this community that this narcissist have built are going to be there. And they're going to back this person up. And they're going to support. They're not going to ask any questions. They're just going to do for them and do for them and do for them. And unfortunately, the weak and the carnal has no idea that they're being manipulated and controlled and used by this narcissist, because they respect them so much. They look up to them so much. But they don't realize that the narcissist is actually using your weakness and your carnality against you. And so that person is not really helping these people, but these people are really using these people and manipulating and controlling. And they don't even realize that they're being used, manipulated, and controlled by this narcissist that have befriended all of them So in their minds, they have such a high level of respect for this narcissist because they know the word, or they know how to sing, or whatever the reason is why they connected with them in the church. But they don't have any idea that friendship was because the narcissists have need of them for some reason, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally, whether it's mentally, whether it's whatever their needs are. They don't realize that that narcissist connected with them because they identified the weaknesses on that person. They identified the good heart on that person. They identified that they'll be a person that I can easily manipulate and control while making them think that they're my best friend and they're my best buddy. But in reality, I really need you there because I need to use you. I need to use you financially. I need to use you for if just something pops up in my life, I just know you're going to be there. But what that person doesn't understand, they're being used and manipulated for what they have, what they could bring to the table. That could make this narcissist look good. So if, like I said, if I get in trouble financially or whatever, I can just go to my little community and see if one of them can help me out. And because they think that, they're my best friend because that's what I've told them. But remember that Christian narcissists are habitual liars. They lie just to lie to lie. So if a Christian narcissist have need of you, then they're gonna act like they're your friends, or they're gonna act like they love you just to get out of you what they want from you. And once they get that, hey, that makes their image look good. That makes them look good. And that makes you feel good as their friend because you've helped them out. But you don't realize, you don't understand. They were just manipulating and controlling you, and they needed something from you. And so they will play the game. They're very good pretenders. They will play the game, and they will make you think that you're their best bud. But if you really look deep behind that, how much have they used you since they've been your best friend? And here's the way a narcissist also think that if you are friends with them or they are friends with you, that you should feel honored because I am somebody. And you should just be grateful that I took the time to even want to connect with you. Okay? And so that's the way they think, because in their minds, they're God. They're up there with God. And if I've chose you to be my friend, you should feel honored because I don't just choose everybody to be my friend. And so if I choose to, just like they do in a relationship, if I choose to spend time with you, you should be happy that I'm taking time out of my schedule. Or if I choose to love you, you should be happy whenever I give it to you. Their thinking is that because it's all about them and the world evolves around them, that whoever they connect with and whatever they do for you, whatever they do with you, or how much ever time that they spend with you, you should be lucky because I am somebody. But remember in some of my earlier conversations, that image of them, they're really concerned about image. It's a fake image. It's an image that they create. So the person that we think that we're seeing and that we have friendship with and we're in a relationship with doesn't exist. They're fake. It's a false image. And so you see how much control that these narcissists have over people, over a false image that they've created of themselves. And it's so easy for people to just fall in line. And before you know it, you have narcs having people pretty much worship them. Worship their wrong, worship their unfaithfulness, worship their abuse, worship all of that And before you know it, they're actually taking that, what they're seeing from the narc, and putting it, applying it in their relationships. And in their mind, they're thinking, well, it's okay. It's okay to do that because this brother over here, the one that know the word and can teach and all that, he doing it. And that's my boy. So if he doing it, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do it. So that's how much control these spirits and these narcissists have over people. It's like they're a magnet. They pull them in. Then they begin to manipulate and control them. And now this little kingdom or community that they built of weak brothers and sisters, or carnal brothers and sisters, or ones that's straddling the fence. But the key is the narcissist knows a weak-minded person. A narcissist knows a good-hearted person. A narcissist can identify one that really loves the Lord and fears the Lord, and will take their kindness for granted, and will use them till they use them up, and won't stop until you tell them to stop. So they'll continue to use you, but then they'll make you feel like you're my best friend. You got my back. Oh, I appreciate you so much. If nobody else has me, I know you have me. But that good person doesn't realize I'm being used. I'm being abused. I'm being manipulated. I'm being controlled. And he's supposed to be my buddy. But they do not see it. And that's what makes it so demonic, because it's all mind manipulation. Or you think that someone likes you just because you're a good person and you're my friend. Yeah, they like you, all right, but they actually like you for what you can bring to the table to make their fake image looks good. I hope this is making sense to you. But that's what a Christian narcissist does. When they go to these churches, they immediately are looking for the weak ones. They're immediately looking for the nice, kind ones. They're immediately looking for the carnal ones so they can create a good old boys or good old girls club. So that these people that they connect with and create their kingdom or community within the church supports everything they do. Whether it's wrong, whether it's right, whether it's foul, whether it's disgusting, they support all of that. And because a Christian narcissist lies so much, all he has to do is lie to his community that he's built around him. And normally they fall right for it. Or it's like their eyes they've been blinded by demons, that it's kind of like they see what this person is doing, but they won't make this person accountable. They actually make excuses for this person why they're doing it. When we all know that God is light. There's no sin in him. There's no darkness in God. So if we're in church and you see your so-called friend over here doing things that's not of God, shouldn't we be calling them out in love, making them accountable for what they are doing, and asking them why are they doing it, and convincing them that they need to stop? Or do we just jump on board like the good old boys club and say, hey, well, he's doing it and she's doing it, and they know the word very well, so I'm just going to do what they're doing. And if they're not getting caught, and if they're not, getting sat down, and so that's normally what happens. And when you think about that thing, it's kind of like, because God said, be ye holy, for I am holy. There's no holy thing that they're doing if they're abusing people and misusing people and controlling people and being unfaithful to people. Those things are not of God. So how can men and women of God in the church sit there and condone that and be okay with that, or act like they don't see what's going on? And when you do ask them, well, you need to talk to this brother or sister because of what they're doing, because if not, they're going to destroy this and they're going to destroy that. But when one of their so-called friends that's in this narc's village or community says, well, they don't want to stop. This is what they've always been doing, and they don't want to stop. When I hear comments like that, where's your love for that brother and sister? Where's your making them accountable? where's the love that you're concerned about their soul and that they're sinning and that. So when I heard that comment, it's like this thing is straight demonic from the pit of hell. So basically, it's kind of like this narcissist goes into the churches, draws those weak people, draws the carnal people, and begin to manipulate and control them, their minds. And so now it just kind of seems like they're brainwashed. And nothing that this narcissist does is wrong. And they know it's blatantly wrong. And instead of them making them accountable, they just start going out doing what the narcissist is doing. This thing is straight from the pit of hell. And unfortunately, a lot of narcissists are migrating to the churches and causing havoc, division, and all kinds of things are going on in the church because of these type of people. And no one can identify them. Nobody can discern it. And when they do, Bennett, I'm not in it. A big white elephant in the room. What is really going on? So the talk on tonight was to just let you know that when a narcissist comes to these churches, first thing they do is build a village around them or build a community around them of weak and carnal men and women of God. Once they get that kingdom or that village built around them, because this village or community does not make this narcissist accountable and supports all of his wrong, basically what they're doing is feeding those demons in that narcissist, and they're building those demons up in him to make him think, I am God, I am invincible. The world does revolve around me, because he's sitting there looking at all these weak people he's congregated together, and now they're supporting his wrong. And they see that he's doing wrong, but they're not making him accountable. So basically, those demons in him are being empowered. And now making them feel like, I am God. And nobody's going to ever call me out because I'm God. Who calls out God? Or I'm up there with God. And it's crazy how these Christian narcissists can just kind of begin that manipulation and control so subtly and lie habitually, and everybody acts like it's okay, and they believe every lie that comes out of this narcissist's mouth because you think that they're your friend, and you think that they like you, and you think that they're in love with you, but in reality, they're not, because a narcissist doesn't know how to love themselves. So if a narcissist does not know how to love themselves, how do you think that they're loving you? For real. They'll tell you that they love you all day long, but how? If they don't know how to love themselves? They can't possibly be in love with you. They're just telling you that so they can use you and abuse you for why they connected with you in the beginning. There was something in you that they saw would be advantageous or beneficial for their false image, or would be beneficial for them, that if they ever got in a bind, whatever it may be, you would be there to get them out. Instead of them being a grown man and a woman and get them on their own selves out. And that is another way that a narcissist works. Whenever they get in trouble, I don't care what it is, okay, they can go to their village, they can go to their little community, and they can lie and tell the sob stories of what went on and what they need, and they can pour on the fake tears, and they can turn them off to get out of you what they want, to make their fake image look good. And that's what they do. A narcissist is a very deceptive person. They're great pretenders. They're very good actors and actresses. It's all about using a person. Using, abusing, taking advantage, shaming if they have to, disrespecting if they have to get out of that person what they need to make their fake image look good. And I hope all of this is making sense. So that is the scope for tonight, about how a Christian narcissist come into the churches and they will attract the weak and the carnal brothers and sisters in the church, and how they'll build a community around themselves so they can begin to play games on people in the church, and people games with their little community, while their little community think that this person is the best thing in the world. But if you stand back and look, how many times have they used you, whether it's for money or whatever? Think back on that. How many times have your Christian narcissists come to you because they've been in a bind for whatever reason, and how they've wanted you to get them out? And how, because you think, well, that's my good old boy and that's my friend, you've always gotten them out of trouble, or you've always helped them out financial, or you've always co-signed for this, or you've co-signed for that, and you helped them get this and you helped them get that. But basically what you were doing, you were being used and manipulated to make this false image of this narcissist continue to look good. And you don't even realize how you're being used, because you're so blindfolded, and because of your closeness and so-called relationship with this narcissist, you never think that they would want to use you or abuse you or manipulate or control you. But that's exactly what they're doing. You just don't see it. You're blinded to it because you wouldn't want to accept it anyway. That, no, that's my buddy. Oh, that's my girlfriend. But you're being used and controlled by her for their selfish gain, for their fake image, for them to feel good, for them to look good. Okay, all on your dime. But a lot of times we don't see it because we think that they like us and that we do have a relationship with them, or either they're in love with us, but really they don't. So they're not. So remember this: a narcissist, Christian narcissist, any narcissists do not know how to love. Because they're only in love with themselves. So they don't know how to love you. Because it's all about them. Remember, they're self-evolved. It's about them. They're concerned about just them. And so unfortunately, when they connect with you, you become one of their victims. And as long as you conform and do what they tell you to do, they're happy with you. But if you don't conform and you begin to find out who they really are, and even make them accountable or call them out, they will turn on you. Because now they figured out that you figured out who they are, and they're not really who they say they were. And so they don't want anybody else to find out about. So instead of, when you find out, instead of you making people aware of them first, then they begin to lie on you. So when you're a friend with a narcissist, you're friends. But if you ever decide, I don't want to be a part of that anymore, I see who you are, you're not who you say you are, you're just using me, beware their wrath. Beware their wrath, because they're going to come after you and they're going to begin to lie. They're going to lie on you bad to try and tear your name and character and credibility down. So just be careful when you decide that you no longer want to be friends with a narcissist. And I would say that when you leave them, don't look back. Run. Because they're going to start shooting out some fiery darts against you, because you were once in their little community and now you see who they are, and you're seeing the manifestations, and you're seeing how you're being used by them, and now they don't like that because you were supposed to stay in that relationship with them or in that village with them so that that narcissist could continue to use and abuse, misuse, disrespect, and all of that to you, all in the name of love, while they're saying that they like you and you're my best friend. So on that, I hope that I've said something on tonight that blesses someone. I will continue to try and get out here more frequently when it comes in reference to this, just to kind of keep you updated and with information when different things come up. So I pray that you all stay blessed, and like I said, there's something out there tonight that I said will bless you. Until next time.